Ryan, I'm going to make a video real quick. I'm here at the park. It's beautiful, cold, freezing cold. Well, not freezing cold, but it's kind of cold today. And I was just going to finish my law of attraction story, or like a little bit of my manifesting story. Um, so where I left off was what happened. I went back to live with my friend and go to the music store, thrift store, whatever. And I was with my friend, and then I came. I lived out in Reno for a little bit, and then I went back home to visit my family in California. And then there's some people over there. This is a nice spot on the bleachers, so I could see the baseball game that's not playing. I don't think they let us in there because of the coronavirus right now. I'm not sure, it was closed the other day. So anyways, I came back home to be with my family, and then I was running out of money, and my car was broken down. It broke down. I had hardly any money at all, like $100 or something. And I went to go get it fixed, and the guy said it would cost like $600 or something. And so I was like, well, I only have like $100. And I was like, is there any way that you could do something to, like, you know? And he said, no, I can't. And then he was like, hang on, like, wait right over here. Like, just hang on a second. Like, and I was like, oh, maybe he'll fix it for me or something. And this other guy walked in, he was helping him, and that guy was a construction worker, and he owned his own business. And he was talking about how he needed help. And the guy, the mechanic guy goes, hey, he could help you. He needs a job. And I was all like, oh, yeah. He's like, you need a job? I was like, oh, yeah, like, I do. I need a job. And so he said, he was like looking at me, and he goes, he was thinking about it, and he goes, what, like, do you have a car? And I was like, oh, my car's in the shop. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, can you wake up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning? Like, can you meet me at 6 o'clock, like, over at this one place? And I'll pick you up from there, and I'll take you to work and everything. And I was like, all right. I was like, okay, I can do it. It was like, even though at the time I didn't want to wake up early, of course, but you got to do what you got to do. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then the next day I was back to work again, learning construction. And then I learned construction. I had all these plans for doing construction, and worked with him for a while, learned a lot, then went to another job for more money. Things were just kind of getting into place. Like, my brother-in-law, well, my sister was dating this one guy, and he had a nice construction job, and then he invited me to go work with him to make more money. And so I went and did that. And this whole time I'm doing like a law of attraction and stuff, and I got like a check in the mail, and I had a good job doing the construction, but it was a really hard job. It was really difficult, and I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with it. As far as, like, I had all these plans, like I wanted to do really good. I wanted to, like, learn how to read the blueprints and do all that, but it just seemed like that we were doing more work than learning, and I couldn't really learn the blueprints that good. And we worked a lot of hours, long hours. And so one day the traffic was really bad. We drive back and forth from work, and traffic was really bad. One day we were stuck in traffic for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was like, you know what, I want to do something different. And I was looking at the truck drivers, and I was like, hey, the truck driving looks cool. I want to go do the truck driving. I saw like a little lady, like a little Filipina lady, driving this big old truck, and I was like, hey, I want to do that. I could do that. And then I used the law of attraction, meditating, and I started, I don't know exactly how, but it like gives you confidence and stuff, and you start asking like I was messaging one of my friends. I was like, I think I want to do truck driving. And then they were like, hey, I know someone who does truck driving. They said go down to the truck stop and pick up a card. So I went down to the truck stop, picked up a card, and then like a couple of months later, um, like a month or two later, I called the number on the card, and they had me do all these things to get all my stuff together. And they said they're giving me a bus ride out to the school in Missouri. They're paying for the bus ride. I have to sign a 1-year contract, and they're going to give me all the schooling for like a month, the full schooling, and then I'll be on my way. And then I get a Christmas bonus also, $2,500 Christmas bonus also. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is what I want to do. This is some money. So, and I wanted to travel. I wanted to see America. I felt like I never got out to go see anything. So, so that's what I did. And then the bus ride was crazy. It was horrible. I've never rode a bus like that before, like that far, and it was the worst. Like, these bus stops were horrible. It was the worst, but at the same time, it was like the best and the worst experience at the same time, because I made a video earlier explaining the whole bus ride, but I'm just going to sum it up real quick. Here's the thing. If you're doing law of attraction, if you're manifesting stuff, it's not always going to be like, if one of your things is like, I want to travel, it might not be the way you think it's going to be. It might be like, just not the way you think it's going to be. You think it's going to be all like fancy and nice and everything like that, but it might not be that way. It might be you wandering around in Thailand with a backpack, or it might be, it might be you like on some bus ride across America that is like scarier than it actually is fun. But at the same time, you're so adventurous, you're so excited that it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you what happened on this bus ride real quick. Let's see. Number one, had to wait down in San Diego in this like cage looking thing with a bunch of sick, disgusting looking people at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. All the weirdos came out. There was this guy that's banging on the fence. They said the buses might get canceled, but they didn't. We got on board. We headed to Arizona. We got off over there, waited forever. People were falling asleep in the bus stop. This one lady had a blanket that smelled like pee. I guess she was peeing on the blanket, and she was going from bus to bus, and I don't know how it was like she was stuck in the bus system, and she just traveled around on the bus for free or something. I have no idea. It was really weird. I tried to talk to her, and she was like, she didn't talk, and it was really sad. And then what else happened? Went to Amarillo, Texas. It was horrible. It was all people on drugs, like crackheads, bums in the street, like total crackheads, all around the bus stop. Places were empty. It was like Skid Row. Like, it was bad. The bus stop was really small. It was stinky. It was dirty. It was so dirty. You didn't even want to touch anything. It was so dirty. And then I remember I went into the men's bathroom, and there was a guy that was completely naked. Like, he looked like a big old farm guy, and he's just completely naked, and he's like washing in the sink. And I was just like, what is going on here? This place, I just thought someone was just going to like pull out a gun and start shooting everybody. It was just the most horrible place I've ever been to. And then after that, we drove a little farther, and we got, in the middle of the night, raining, storm. I fell asleep. When I woke up, the bus driver's doing like 100 miles per hour in the rain with thunder and lightning, and I just thought we were going to roll the bus and it was going to be over. I was like so scared. Fell back asleep, woke up again, and there was, I don't know what happened first out of these two things, but I think it was the illegal immigrants were on the bus, so we got pulled over by the La Migra, and they took everybody off the bus, checked us all for our IDs and everything. And I remember there was this African guy, and he was all scared because he just came from Africa, and he wasn't sure. He was trying to dig for his, his ID and his legalization, whatever documents, and then he had to go like under the bus and like get out all of his baggage to like show them. But he was legal, he had it. But there was like 4 or 5 guys that got taken off the bus because they were illegals, and we were waiting there forever. We must have been there for like an hour and a half waiting for them to check everything. Then after that, there was a fight between there was a gay couple in the back, men, and they got in a fight with this little Filipino man that looked a little bit sketchy, a little bit gangster, a little bit crazy. And they were arguing and fighting, and the guy pulled out a knife or something, and it was really weird because just before that happened, there was a lady, she said, "My sister's following us," and she was telling the bus driver, "Pull over," and the bus driver's like, "No, we're not pulling over till we get to the state line." And she's like, "You're going to make my sister drive all the way to the state line when you could just pull over and let me out right here." And she's all upset. And they were arguing, the bus driver and him. And then there was the argument in the back of the bus. And then all of a sudden the Filipino guy comes running up, and he's like, "He's got a knife. He's got a weapon. He's got a weapon." And everybody's like, the first thing you think is like, he's got a gun, because he said weapon, I think. And then I'm like, holy crap, does somebody got a gun on the bus, or like a weapon? And then the guy said like a knife, he's got a knife. And so the bus driver had to pull in to this Indian reservation, and he called the cops and pulled into this Indian reservation. So they came, the Indian reservation police came, and they went all through the bus and took people out one by one, and they went to the back and they secured the gay couple in the back, and they like discussed everything with them and went over everything. It was a big old drama thing. And then we were all off the bus, and I was just like, what is going on? And again, it was in the middle of the night again, because it took a long time to get all the way over there. And so they finally arrested somebody. Excuse me. They finally arrested somebody. And we all got back on the bus again, and we started driving again. And then two other incidents happened after that. This was during the daytime. We were way out somewhere, Oklahoma or somewhere, way out there. Like, there was just farmland. Can't remember where it was at, but it was just like farmland. And we finally got to this little gas station out in the middle of nowhere. And there was this lady that was on the bus, and she was pregnant. Like, she was really, really pregnant the whole time. We were kind of taking care of her the whole time, because she was about ready to have her kid, like, on the bus, it felt like. And we get out, and the bus driver's like, "You only get 10 minutes. Get what you got. We got to get going. You only get 10 minutes. I'm leaving. If you don't get out here, then in 10 minutes, I'm going to leave without you." So we went in there, and we hurried up. We got our coffee and our treats, and we went back and got on the bus. Well, he's like, "Is everybody on?" And somebody's like, "No, we're missing somebody." Well, sure enough, we're missing the pregnant lady. Nobody could find her. And so the bus driver's like, "Well, I got to go." And we're like, "You can't just leave her here. She's pregnant. Like, it's in the middle of nowhere." And he's like, "I got to go." I told everyone 10 minutes. And this lady said, "I'll go check in the bathroom and see if she's there." And she like ran in there, and she knocked on the bathroom. She came back out. She said, "I think she's in the bathroom because nobody's answering." And the bus driver's like, "Well, I can't wait." And then he drove for a little bit, then he stopped, and then he just took off driving. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, he just left the pregnant lady out here in the middle of nowhere." And everybody was just shocked, because it felt like we left her. Like, because we've been traveling together on this bus for so long, it felt like we all knew each other, and it felt like we left her there. And so we kind of, some people started laughing at everything, because it was so unreal, like we couldn't believe it. But anyways, I don't know what happened to her. She was at that gas station. Probably they called for an ambulance to take her to the hospital, or who knows what. But anyways, she's trying to get to, Indianapolis, and she stops in Oklahoma to have her baby. I guess, I don't know. Anyways, we keep going, and then we stop at another bus stop, pick up some ornery little guy that was just pissing everybody off, and everybody seemed like they were getting really mad at him because he was kind of making fun of people and just a rowdy guy, and he was just weird and just I don't know, annoying, and it just seemed like you were gonna snap, like someone was gonna snap and like punch this guy. It was like scary, and but nobody did, and then I finally made it to the destination. Called my work. I was at this gas station in the middle of nowhere in Missouri, and then I called them, and they got me like a taxi, brought me to the hotel, and then the next day I went to the school, and then I started learning how to be a truck driver. And then after that, I got all my training done, went out on the road with a trainer for 2 weeks. The first trainer quit, so I had to get another trainer, and finished off, and then finally got my own truck, and I was driving around the country, driving around America, everywhere, and saw every state, went through every city, and it was really amazing. Had an adventure, and I wanted to record everything. I did take some pictures and I did record some things, but I wanted to make a YouTube and record things, but it was like every time I got somewhere, I just wanted to enjoy it. I didn't want to be taking video and messing with my phone and struggling. At some point, I just gave up, and I just enjoy the place where I was at. So anyways, I did that for about almost 2 years, almost 2 years, made a lot of money, and then used that money to go travel again. I went to Thailand. I went to Mount Fuji, which was one of my childhood dreams, to go see Mount Fuji, and I went and did that. And so then I got a job in Thailand with my girlfriend's family. I got a job out there for a little while, and then my grandpa was getting really sick. He was really sick, so I flew back home, and I got to be with my grandpa before he passed away. But anyways, it's just an amazing adventure. And then I went and I got another job, truck driving, and made some more money. But the thing is the law of attraction plus the Bible, like, mixed together, like, just focusing and wanting to do something, and it led to that great job, and I made a lot of money doing it, and I got to go and travel. So anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is that with manifesting stuff, it's not always going to be perfect. I was able to manifest these things. I didn't know anything about all this stuff, and then all of a sudden I knew all this stuff, and now I got a lot of experience with with everything that I went through. It was just amazing. So anyways, this is the end of this story. There's 100 more adventures that I went on, but this is just what I wanted to kind of get out. Okay, so peace. Is Ryan out. Like, comment, share, and have a good day.